Hey,
What is up, my brother?
what's up, man?
Not much. It's been a very busy day, but it's always good because when we on the show, that means we must be talking about football, man.
Yes, sir.
Week one, a freaking. We can talk about college football. We can talk about NFL football, but let's just talk about football. Like it was a great week of football. I mean, like just to be able to have all these different channels. Like I know you seen my work setup where it was like I had a show here, I had a show here. Like I had multiple shows going on, man. It was a great weekend for football. So, what was the number one thing that stood out to you for football? Like period.
Jacksonville beating Indy. That shocked the shit out of me, to be honest.
And then Gardner Minshew. What did he go like? He only incompleted two passes or something like that.
hmm
Like
He went off. Um, it, the other thing that really shocked me, I'll say, I shouldn't say it shocked me because I almost expected out of the NFL. But teams with really strong run games did not rely on their run game. Uh, so once again, the NFL is, I shouldn't say losing my fandom, but the NFL game wise is definitely disappointing me because they're forcing people to play outside of their means. And we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later with some of the NFL news that we have. Um, but overall, I mean, I was super excited. I didn't get to watch so much of the earlier games of the NFL as much as I got to watch, obviously, the late night and then obviously Monday. Um, but overall, I mean, it gives a different energy to Saturday and Sundays having football back.
hoodie up, so we know what that mean, right? Hoodie up, so we know what that mean. Bold prediction Tuesday. The Pittsburgh Steelers will win the goddamn Super Bowl with Big Ben winning the MVP.
Is he winning? Are they winning the division now?
They're winning. Listen, fuck what I said last week. The Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. I got them finishing last because the Cincinnati Bengals, if AJ Green can stay healthy, that offensive line, they play. Joe Burrow is going to win games in the NFL. Like
If their
he is
kicker
worth
makes a field goal, they
if
win
their
the
kicker
game.
right. If their kicker makes it and like the offensive pass interference, AJ Green got it called against him because he's not AJ Green from 5 years ago. Because if he was a top 3, 5 receiver, like if he has the potential, if he's healthy, then he doesn't get that call, right? Like, I mean, like he doesn't get the pass interference call, but he's a young guy like Gallup. Gallup's going to get that call because you're not the man. Odell's not going to get that call. Julio's not going to get that call. OBJ, as shitty as he is, pun intended, is he going to get like it? You like that? But hey, seriously, that Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Listen, bruh.
It took them a
Listen,
minute, but they figured it out.
listen. No, I didn't take them. They was hot right off the bat. Like that touchdown. Like okay, Minka had to come up because he's seen a cross route, like the deep cross. He had to come up. Nelson was expecting Minka to be there. Cool, whatever. But like Saquon Barkley, 15 carries, 6 yards.
I mean, he did his thing in receiving, but it was almost in. I try to tell people that yes, he got 60 yards in receiving, but it was last
Irrelevant.
minute dump off and then letting Saquon be an athlete. Which again, that's what Le'Veon Bell made his living at. But don't try to make it seem like, oh, like Saquon smoked somebody on a wheel route or something. No, it was a dump off, let him run around with guys 15 yards deep in coverage.
And then here's what's crazy. Everybody want to hype up TJ Watt, who he should have a defensive player of the year from last year.
Yeah.
He showed why he's the man this year. Bud Dupree, but I ain't even hype about them. Cam Hayward, I ain't even hype about him. Minka, I ain't even hype about him. Did you see Devin Bush? The game is coming
He
to
was
him.
leading the team in tackles by halftime.
The game is coming to him, big bro.
Yeah.
The game looks slow. Like
Yeah.
when Saquon jumped over, dude, Devin Bush is like, hey, I'm coming. He's like, hey, I'm coming. You know, hey, the Pittsburgh, and then you seen the offensive line, we took a big loss with my man Banner, who fought his ass off. That hurt.
I hope Wiz is okay.
Yeah, me too. But
He has
I
an
just,
ankle injury.
and this is where it's so funny because I told y'all last year, right? Me and you talked about this when everybody's like garbage. And I'm like, Juju's not. He doesn't have Big Ben. Big Ben's going to make Juju that number one receiver. But then you got Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, James Washington, Eric Ebron, Benny Snell.
Well, first off, the addition of Big Ben being the quarterback is a big thing. Big Ben being back as the Steelers' offensive coordinator, huge.
Seriously,
Randy Fichtner.
That 2-minute
Randy
drive
Fichtner,
before the
I'm
half.
sorry, like at this point, keep Matt Canada as the quarterback coach and run coordinator or pass coordinator, whatever the fuck you want to title him, and just put Big Ben, like pencil his name in as OC. Randy Fichtner's a bitch. Like, I can't stand that dude. Big Ben called that entire game. Randy Fichtner just stood there holding a fucking clipboard. Like, Big Ben being back, calling the offense. Like, I want to say Herb Street even said it. Like, Herb Street even said, Big Ben's back, calling his offense. He's like, you don't even see Ben, like, checking his headset, looking to the sideline. Ben's telling everybody what to do, and Ben is a field general. He's the definition of like that characteristic on Madden. He is a field general.
But the thing I love the most is like when Benny Snell got going in that second half to come out, he had 4 run plays in a row where it was just like, and that's where Big Ben, and this is where I'm talking about most valuable player. Like, it's not about, is Aaron Rodgers better than Big Ben? Yeah, we can talk about that all day long. He can do everything that Big Ben can. But as far as being a leader on the field, not off the field per se, Big Ben got better. But like on the field, Big Ben is as value as anybody. And I'll go to bat for Big Ben. And I've been saying it. He looks healthy. And he got so, like, being able to watch Juju look so happy. Like, it was like, damn, we finally got an offense. Like,
first off, so speaking of Juju doing his thing, God damn it. They finally fucking start throwing crossing routes to these goddamn wide receivers.
Yes.
Like, Ben must have been watching film, seeing the middle of the field open. I know I've said it multiple times with the skill that they have running crossing. I mean, crossing routes for most teams is deadly if you can get the time. But especially that, like, that off the back foot, like, fade shot that Ben gave Juju in the end zone, like, that is, like, back again, Herb Street and Fowler, which I love them. I wish they would.
They need to call Monday night games because
I mean, even Sunday games. I mean, I'd like to see just their energy and how they talk about the game.
It's college football like, but it's the NFL players, and they break it down like, bro, it just
like,
sounds like
was
butter.
Like a couple name mix-ups, but these are guys that like are essentially just learning the roster because they might be fans of the NFL, but like their entire week is devoted to college.
Yeah.
So like listening to them, it's almost as fun as listening to like a Tony Romo, where like he gives a bunch of football knowledge, but doesn't like overshoot your head.
Yeah.
The what is gonna be the Monday night crew that was the 10 o'clock crew wasn't a fan of. I did fall asleep halfway through that game and then woke back up.
I just didn't even care. Like I was like,
I wasn't a fan. That game was super sloppy too, which I wasn't a fan of. But again, we were kind of talking about things about this weekend and then AJ Green not getting calls and stuff like that. I think the referees, I mean, the refs aren't ever good, but I feel like the refereeing crews this week were worse than usual. A lot of weird, like, pass interference calls that were like very fluky.
You think
I mean, the Jalen Ramsey
that's an
flag,
offensive pass interference?
that was bad. The one that they had on Joe Hayden, that was bad. Um, the Jamie Collins helmet to the ref was absolutely hysterical.
But like, you can't do that. Like,
No, you can't. And like, I thought so. Again, I got that update halfway through work, and I think I checked it whenever I had free time. And I thought he had a helmet to helmet with a player, and then was trying to talk to the ref and be like, "Nah, this is what I did." And then I come to find out that that's what he got kicked out for. That was the greatest shit ever. I was like, "You stupid." I was like, "I understand you're just trying to talk to this man, but like."
Then the dude from Denver who threw a Then the dude from the Titans who threw a punch and got ejected.
Yeah.
But he could.
I guarantee Vrabel chewed him a new one.
Yeah.
But the other funny thing that I took away from this weekend was the horrible special teams. Obviously, the Titans got probably the brunt of it. But the Browns trying to go for a fake punt and then turning over a fumble. There was a couple other games where kickers – well, the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals should have won a game if their kicker actually kicked it. It's week one, so special teams will get better. But man, was it nice having football back.
And then let's talk about it, baby. Cam Newton and the Patriots.
They're going to be very dangerous this year. I'm not going to crown them yet.
I won't crown them because they don't. They need to make a receiver change, because what's going to happen is they're just going to load the box and have Cam Newton beat them throwing. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes it so dangerous. It's still Cameron Newton. It's not like it's just a scrub who can't do it. He can throw the deep ball. And so, like, I think the Patriots are scary just because of what they provide. Like, they're going to be good. Who else stood out to me? Let's talk. Who was it? I can't even think about it. The Rams. They're running the game. Woo!
Yeah.
That division
running back committee was nice.
Well, it was Mac Brown and the rookie, but like the Rams, oh my God. And then here's the takeaway of everything. No matter who's the head coach, no matter who's the like GM, no matter who's the quarterback, no matter who's the running back, no matter who's the receiver, two teams will remain two teams no matter what. The Browns will always be the Browns, and the Cowboys will always be the Cowboys. No matter what. Guarantee. Ain't that what Charles Barkley said? Guarantee. Those two teams are going, bet your money. I'm not picking the Browns to win shit. I take recant.
Listen, their first two drives, they had 2 turnovers.
They had a 3rd and 41.
That was pretty funny. I mean, it's hard with a new head coach, obviously, but they're still so lost as an organization. I honestly, and again, that was a pretty nice segue into, I think there's going to be changes coming.
Yes.
So it's a huge rumor right now that they're trying to shop Odell, which is going to be very interesting. Me and you joked about it. I don't think we joked about it in the group, but I know me and you joked about it. Me saying, "Oh well, here's game 1. Odell already seems frustrated. Wait until he implodes on the team." I don't even think they're going to allow him to get to that point. I could see them shopping him, especially since Baker came out and basically apologized by saying that he was trying to force the ball too much.
But here's my thing. Baker Mayfield, stop being a bitch. It ain't about forcing the ball. Force the ball on target, pussy. Like, I'm so tired. This is the problem. Baker Mayfield is not who we thought he was. He's a scrub.
No,
Scrub a dub dub. I don't want to hear that you're forcing the ball to Odell. It's not that. Because when you force the ball, Big Ben used to force the ball to Antonio Brown in double coverage. But when Big Ben put it on target, AB showed up. Like, yeah, you said Odell had a drop. I also watched 4 different highlights where Odell's wide open and the ball's nowhere near him. Baker Mayfield is a scrub a dub dub, and he deserves no respect.
The big thing is, once again, we go back to the Browns or the Browns.
Yes.
Regardless who the head coach is or the OC is, once again, we look at a team that have arguably one of the top 5 running backs with Chubb.
Yeah.
And before Kareem Hunt changed positions to a kicker, he was one of the top 10 running backs in the league. So you have a great tandem in the backfield, but you continue to have Baker Mayfield.
So, dude, it's just so funny. Like, you just knew no matter what, the Browns and the Cowboys would be who they were. Like, no matter what. It's just like, come on, man. It's like,
hold on. Speaking of the Cowboys, Zeke's new tattoo, "Feed Me," on his stomach is so awkward and hysterical all at the same time.
But Zeke played good, so I ain't gonna hold my man.
No, Zeke
my
did
man
play
showed.
well. But once again, it
like,
goes back to what I talked about. Fucking teams with good running games trying to not run the ball. Why?
Yeah.
Like, well, and usually what I condemn Zeke for is not being able to do anything outside of run the ball. He actually caught the ball out of the backfield pretty well. So, like, it just makes me laugh that, again, like I said about the NFL losing my interest, I'm sick and tired of offensive coordinators not using their run game and then forcing the football through quarterbacks that, once again, should only be managing the game.
And I'm glad you said that, because here's what I took out of Pittsburgh. And I'm going back to it. Big Ben didn't force the ball. Mm-mm. Like, he looked so calm. Like,
he looked, even with pressure in his face, when the O-line looked real shaken, he still looked calm.
Yes. He got flustered with that throw to, like, Snell on that 3rd down, throwing it to him. But then he settled in. That next drive.
Yeah.
But then who else? Like, I think like the Colts. I mean, Marlon Mack got hurt, but you have Jonathan Taylor. That's a shame that you lost that game. Who else? Just like, even like, and
listen,
then
Drew Lock. I became a huge Drew Lock fan last night.
Oh yeah, that guy got some.
Even though they lost, he had. And it's funny because they're all roughly the same age, but he had a very Pat Mahomes-like throw.
Yeah.
Where he was running to the left, came back and threw it across body
for that touchdown.
Accurate pass. Like, it's fun. And I said it in the group, like, it's fun watching these young quarterbacks playing very high level backyard football. And I don't want that to come across that they're doing like any kind of gimmicky things. They're just playing football. To what most I'll say traditional football quarterbacks aren't used to doing.
Yeah.
Getting out of the pocket and just having fun and extending plays is a lot of what our young core of quarterbacks are able to do for the most part.
And so I wanted to talk about, because you brought up young quarterbacks. I'm gonna transition to a couple things, and I know we ain't talk about what we were going to talk about, but there's two issues that happened over the weekend that should be talked about. The one is that Ron Rivera is still coaching games and has to get IVs with cancer and watching Dwayne Haskins prove that he can be who they think he can be. And watching the Redskins football team come out in the second half and fight. It reminds me of when, if you remember, I know you remember, but us against Brentwood, when Coach Dub had just had his surgery for his cancer. And remembering us fight in that second half to win that football game for Dub, and him coming down and us telling him, like, we winning that game for you. You know what I mean? Like, that meant every single thing to me. That's so personal. And then the second one was Villanueva. So I've seen a lot of mixed emotions and mixed feelings. And people were talking about who was the name of what he had and why did he cover it up with the name that he used and why did he go against the Steelers? But let's talk about Mike Tomlin. And this is why we can always talk about how bad or good he is against good teams and bad teams. But that man is all class. And watching how he handled it and came out and supported both people and saying, we completely understand and respect every movement and everybody's the way they want to protest. But we also respect Big Al and is going to let him do what he wants to do. Because Big Al doesn't have hate in his heart by what he did. It's not a hate in his heart.
Well, it's
not
the same
a
thing about whenever he stood in the tunnel last year. And we'll get to that. Keep going with what you're talking about.
But for me, I feel like so many times, and it hurts me so bad. And I don't know how you feel about it, but watching that players came, and it started with Houston and Tennessee. I mean, Houston and Kansas City, where it wasn't even about the flag. It had nothing to do with it. They stood for the national anthem. They stood for the Black national anthem. They did it after, and they were getting booed. And then it's like, they're like, oh, well, why does Antoine Rose deserve to have his name on the back of a helmet? He was a criminal. Since when did we forget? And this is where it just hurts. Is like, when did, no matter what you did as a person, come to like you deserving to be shot in the back or deserve to be slain? And then why can't Big Al, did he go against the team? Yes. But is that a guy who fought for this country and can understand that heroes don't get enough love and respect? You know what I mean? Like, I can see it both ways. And I don't think Al had an ounce of hate in his body when he did it. And I don't think he was dissing the Black Lives Matter movement or anything like that. And also, real quick, George, I just want to say this. Me as a black man, when I say Black Lives Matter, it's not a political thing. It's not a movement. It's not supporting a party. It's the fact that I'm black. Like, and that's what I put under one of the posts. It's like, we can sit there and talk about the disrespect to the flag and disrespect this. When I take off my uniform, I was just a black dude. I could have been shot just like any one of them. You know what I mean? And that's where it becomes personal. But I think us as a nation, we got to understand too, like, Big Al toured in Afghanistan 3 times. Like, he understands what this flag means, what our country means. He fights for that right. He would not disrespect Antoine Rose or anybody else. So I just don't know why he got so much backlash, but also understand it because they decided as a team. The Pittsburgh Steelers decided as a team to do this. So I get why people felt some type of way, but needless to say, man, we should all just love each other.
No, I hear you. And like I said, it's mixed for me because when it all boils down, and again, I don't know how people view Big Al, but when it boils down, just like you said, when he takes a uniform off, again, I guess whenever I would see Big Al, I would assume he was white, but he's not.
Right.
He's mixed. He might even be full Latino. I mean, I don't know what his parents are. I just never looked into it. And I don't think he did it out of any disrespect or malice. I think, just like Tomlin said, I respect how everybody wants to do their thing. By all means, I understand that the team as a whole wanted to honor Antoine, and I think that's respectable. But again, and I don't think Al had any malice towards the team of saying, right, no, fuck you guys, I'm doing me. Right. I think that was the other laughable thing on my comment. People saying, oh, he's for himself. This dude only cares about himself. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to come out and say, if you think he's doing it just to hype himself up, you're a dumb motherfucker. Like, come fight me. You're a dumb, human if you think that Big Al has any malice or thinks he's above things. He's done a lot more than most of the people on Facebook that are little fucking keyboard warriors have ever done in their fucking life.
Social media activist.
Yeah, they can go fuck off. Again, Big Al has so much more respect than any other person that is trying to put him down. But again, I get it. They tried to do something as a team. Again, a bunch of NFL guys tried to do shit as a team, and somebody might have stepped out of that. It's just he's getting hyped now because the name on his helmet that day didn't fall in line with what people wanted it to. But again, he wanted to shine light on, again, something else. And again, it is what it is. Going back to, again, how Tomlin handles things, I do, even though I am judgmental about how sometimes he handles maybe the football aspect of the Steelers, how he handles the off-field things, and obviously for this case, maybe on-field. But even last year during the tunnel thing, where everybody says, once again, Villanueva went against the team, it's just because the cameras got on him before everybody else kind of stood in the tunnel.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There were other Steelers. Big Ben was out there. Pouncey
Everybody was.
There.
It was just they were up the ramp more.
Right.
And even Cam Hayward and them came out last year saying we were going to be with him, but the cameras already started shooting it. Right. And we thought it was going to be awkward, like us going down. And the anthem already started playing, so they didn't want to be looked at like they're just milling around during the anthem.
Right. And I think, and for me, and if I'm being honest, being somebody in the middle, and we had this conversation, so I forgot that we don't come out for the national anthem as a high school football team. Hence, the best way to get rid of it is to do shit like that. But I know I talked to my head football coach, and I was like, hey man, I was like, have we came up with a plan on what we want to do as a football team? Because I was like, I love exactly what I understand why everybody kneels. I understand the meaning behind it. I 100% support it. But for the love of me, I could never kneel, knowing that I fought to protect this. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different feeling. And again, like I said, I support it. I completely 1000% understand why everybody does it, because there's no maliciousness to the military.
You.
Right. And again, but for me, when you swear in to, like,
Right.
It's a completely different feeling, and that flag becomes so monumental. But again, with that being said, I understand with everything else going in the world why it happened. But like Big Al, you got the weight. You feel like you got the weight of the world. Like you feel like everybody's watching me. Like I need to do, and so he was bringing attention to him. Now, the way I would have handled it, I would have probably honestly like did the same thing. But I would have also had an Anton. I would have probably taped it above my helmet, so then it shows the Anton Rose, and then it shows, both names. So then both of the names get out. But it's neither here nor there.
Like I said, it's. And again, I was talking to a friend, and again, I won't name him, but again, we were talking about how weird shit is right now. Again, we focus on how people are protesting, if they're protesting. I forget what news outlet was it, but it was probably like the New York Post. Like they made an article talking about how many guys per team were kneeling versus not kneeling. I almost feel like we're getting into a weird realm of almost expectations.
And the gospel.
If you're not kneeling, then you must be racist. Or if you're not racist and again, you're a black player, that you're not for the movement. Or like, and the thing that like I always kind of hark back to is I feel like I'm kind of like the Chris Long of the Eagles, whenever they were making that run with like Malcolm Jenkins. Malcolm Jenkins wanted to kneel, and to my knowledge, knelt with his like fist up.
Yeah.
Chris Long would stand next to him with his hand on his shoulder, saying, "I'm a part of this," but Chris Long had his own feelings about it. Like Chris Long, it was a part of the movement, as it were, but he wanted to stand for the flag as well. So like I said, it's just a weird fucking time right now.
Yeah. And I think what it is like, again, we need to go to the and this is the root of it. If we want to talk about the national anthem and why it's so important, we can get into that and have another discussion. But let's talk about the real fact of why the NFL started doing it and when they started doing it. Because if you just keep the players in the locker room like everybody else does, it takes away the political point of it.
Yeah.
But they wanted to be if you kneel, Black Lives Matter and all lives don't. Or like
the other thing, not to cut you off, but like the backlash that the Titans got for staying in the locker room was absolutely laughable.
Right.
Like I think it was 2009 was when the DOD started paying professional leagues to make the anthem. And again, I'm all for the anthem. Again, the pageantry of the anthem is cool, but before 2009, like that wasn't a thing. Like I brought up in a comment, I can't ever remember a time we were ever out on the field as North that we were ever out on the field for a national anthem.
We weren't. But here's my thing. So the national anthem, to me, right? And this is the problem. And this is where, like you said, too many people's worried about who's kneeling, who's not, but we're not talking about why. And again,
that's the other thing that the
people had to
talking.
Yeah. And if people had the mentality of like, okay, well, and this is where you get into it because people are like, oh, well, why are like, okay, they're kneeling, they're selfishes, they're pieces of shit, or military fights for freedom and this and that. Not understanding that, like, by them kneeling, they're actually like doing exactly what the military fought for. But like, the way I tell people is like, okay, so when we say Black Lives Matter, does that mean that all lives don't matter? No. I was like, imagine if my house burns down next to yours, George, but your house is fine. And I'm like, oh my God, my house, I need help because my house is burnt. Does that mean like your house is more important than my house? No. But it means like my house is going through something and I need to let everybody know. So I need to like let the block know that like, hey, my house is burnt. So I'm going to let you know that my house is on fire.
So I like that analogy. Here's one of the best analogies I've ever heard from a former teammate of mine. So think of it as a hand, right?
Yeah.
If I bust my, I won't use middle finger. Say I bust my ring finger, and I break it, I stub it, whatever, mid game. Right. What do you do to that ring finger? You buddy tape it, right?
Right.
So that you can help that finger, right?
Right.
So you buddy tape it. Just because you buddy tape that ring finger doesn't mean you're going to lop off your fucking thumb, right?
Right.
So then everybody has to come together, and again, not saying that like a fist to harm, but
right,
a fist creates more power, right? You're not going to fucking try to judo fucking poke somebody. You're going to fucking punch them. So, in like one of my teammates brought that up, and I was like, and like that's like right whenever like Cap started, and I'm like, holy fuck. I was like, that's the best analogy I've ever heard in my life.
And oh, go ahead.
Nah, you're good.
But it's just so funny to me. Like, I just don't understand. It's like serving this country, bro. It's like people feel like, oh, you're in the military. It's so great. Like all you pussies who feel like you want to talk about how much you love the anthem, fucking sign up and join, you punk pussy motherfucker. That's a public service announcement. If you feel like you're so brave and so tough and you need to fight for this country and what they believe in, sign the motherfucking dotted line, you punk bitch. That's what I want to say. I've been meaning to say that for a long time. Public service announcement. If you feel like what this country is so great and you feel like you're so brave and bad, then sign the dotted line, you punk bitch. And then you'll understand it. Because, like, in the military, I promise you in the Marine Corps, bro, like, we don't care about race, gender, ethnicity. We just don't want you to be soft.
Well, again,
But at the same time,
that's
but at
why
the
I
same
love
time,
football.
yeah, but at the same time, we know that, like, damn, I can't do the same thing that my white boys is doing because shit, my ass ain't making it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Like, it's just, and I'm sorry to get us off on a tangent. So we're gonna get back into football.
Hey,
But
and I feel like that's why I love working with you, brother, because like
right.
sometimes this is the shit that we need to have.
Because just watching Big Al get attacked, bro, it's like, okay, like, did he go against it? Yeah. But let's talk about the guy he put on the back of his helmet.
And like, and instead of trying to fucking blast him like some of the media, and again, it goes back to these fucking keyboard fucking gangsters. Like, you have fun with your fucking life, but this dude's 10 times the fucking man you're ever gonna fucking be.
Right.
But like, that's the other thing that pisses me off about the media. Like, and I'm happy we kind of circled back to this. This is whenever, again, I talked to my buddy talking about all these fucking people talking about, oh, so and so fuck like knelt during the anthem. Okay, well, instead of you just commenting about him kneeling for the anthem, why not after the game go to him and say, "Hey, Court, why did you kneel during the anthem?" and let him speak.
Right.
Like that. Let's find the fuck out. Like, instead of like throwing this fucking man to the wolves, go ask Villanueva, "Hey, Big Al, why'd you wear this man's name?" Like, I again, like, I again respect the Steelers for wearing Antoine's name. I really respect a lot of the guys that are around the league that are from Pittsburgh and knew Antoine that wore his name. It's like I said, it's just to the point of laughter now that
But here,
we continue to demonize people without trying to find out anything.
And here's the because it hurts. Like, we have people who, like, no matter what, they see the name, no matter what the name is, and they always talk about he was a thug, he was a criminal, he was this, he was a piece of shit, he was a rapist, he was a killer, she smoked crack. At those moments that they lost their life, at the moment we watched George Floyd for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, the moment we watched his life leave his body, was he a criminal? Right? We want to talk Breonna Taylor. She came into her house. They came into her house with a no-knock warrant and shot her and killed her. At what point was she a criminal? Antoine, a young George, have you ever ran cops?
How about
Ever?
you're real broken up?
Can you hear me?
50-50.
Have you ever ran for cops? I did.
I mean, whenever depends on what you. I mean, whenever I was young, being a goofball, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, was I being a bad kid? Like, regardless of whatever, and this is where it bothers me because you see the hate. Like, you look under like WPXI or anything like that, it hurts so bad. Look at that, like, damn, all them young niggas needed to die anyway, or damn, they're all the monkeys will go away, and that's the problem, bro. It's like it hurts so bad knowing that, like, I can literally get killed. I'm one of the best. I figure I'm one of the nicest people, right? Like, people in Bellevue know me. Like, I know everybody, right? Like, they call me. I know everybody. I talk to everybody. But for me, it's like, if I get killed, there's people from Pittsburgh who gonna say this nigga, oh, all niggas need to die. Knowing that I put myself in the best position to be possible, like, to be successful. knowing that I'm a family guy, knowing that I'm all about loving, caring, healing, just knowing that like if I die, my mom's gonna have to deal you're gonna get if you put up a picture of me, people are gonna be like, well, that nigga deserved to die. He was in the wrong. Knowing that I would do the right situation in that moment, I can still lose my life and people would just throw me away. That's what hurts the most. And to move on, man, I just football is where we come home and we love each other and be with each other and care about each other. And that's where I feel like we lose it. But I love football, and this is why I'm so glad to do the show with my best friend. Because without football, I don't have you. Without football, I don't meet all the great people in my life. Loud Mouth Sports Talk doesn't become a thing. And we just need like these conversations, they need to have an understanding. Like I tell people all the time, like on my Facebook, I'm very like people call me liberal.
You're breaking up again
Am I?
a little bit.
Can you hear me there?
It's still choppy. It's that Verizon network.
But like this, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So like I was at work and this guy was like, oh yeah, well, I hear you talking about the Black Lives Matter movement. I said, bitch, I am black. This ain't a movement. This is my lifestyle. And I said it just like that. I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, do you think I pick and choose to be black? Like, do you think I ever say, like, oh man, I don't want to be black? Fuck no. But do I understand that like my life doesn't matter to everybody? Yes. And I hate when people say, like, oh, well, what's the problem? Everybody has equal rights. We live in a slave mentality still. Do you understand that 50 years ago, my mom's was born in 1975. Martin Luther King had only been shot 8 years before. Do we really want to talk about how we're equal when my mom, like 8 years before Martin Luther King was shot, my grandfather, who's still alive today, had to deal with being spit on, being kicked, being spit, like being called a nigger, being segregated his entire life. Like, and that's where people like, we want to always, and this is where I came from. 9/11 was the last time we were together as a country, right? Where everybody, no which color, race, gender, whatever, we came together. We want to say, let's never forget 9/11, right? We want to always remember that love that KKK, the 1960s. We got to forget about it and forget that it ever happened and forget that it ever existed and remove it from our entire face because America's so great. Why is that? Why can't we heal as a nation like we did on 9/11 and say, damn, we as a world were like, this is a bad day. And the stuff that happened on this day, like, and again, it's no disrespect to 9/11 people. Like, obviously, I joined the Marine Corps. May 2nd, 2011 is one of my greatest days. I throw a party every May 2nd, 2011. Do you know what day that was? That's the day Osama bin Laden got shot in the face with his brothers. That's my favorite day ever. Like, absolutely. But at the same time, like, I can never forget where I came from in order to get to where I am. I'm going to change this world. Me and you talk about that all the time. We're going to make a change in this world through loudmouth, through whatever I got to do through coaching football. But that does not mean I got to forget that 60 years ago, me and you wouldn't have been able to be there. You get what I'm saying? Like, imagine if I was born in the 1930s. I couldn't join the Marine Corps. And then when I could join the Marine Corps, I had to go train somewhere else that's not the same as Parris Island, the place that I got hazed at. And I loved and became a Marine, right? That place will forever be in my heart. But imagine that, like, and that's what we got to remember as people. Like, it's not so long ago that we weren't together. So yeah, now it's equal, right? Like now we got the same rights, but we were at a hit. Y'all had a hit, like people had a not y'all, but like people had a head start. You know what I mean? And I don't mean y'all like you because I love you, but you get what I'm saying? Like there was one group of people that had it right, and those group of people we're trying to catch up. We can't be equal if there was a head start in a race. You get what I'm saying? Like we can try to close the gap, but the gap is still here. The gap is still existing. And that's what and speaking of gaps, and I'm gonna transition is the best that I can ever do. The gap in college football, because we got 3 teams, 3 conferences playing, and 2 that don't know what the hell they want to do. I think that's a good transition. What you think? I think that's a good job. But so there was a lot of college football, brother. So I thought the biggest surprise to me was I told you, Louisiana, baby. I
Shut
told
up.
you
You
Louisiana.
picked them on a fucking whim. Don't act like you're some fucking goddamn college goddamn selection guru. Piss off.
What does it say? What does it say?
You should be selection guesstimation.
No, wait. Look, pull up the records of what we are. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure I'm pretty sure for college.
You got me by one fucking win, and it's because of Louisiana.
What did Bobby say? If
Listen, all I know is Iowa State is at home, even though they're the Hurricanes. Or no, they're the Cyclones. Either way, the Cyclones are at home licking their wounds because that was a game. I forget what the spread was, but it wasn't.
It was like 24.
Yeah, it was almost like a the Southern Miss Southern Bama game. Like the head coach quit afterwards because they shouldn't have lost.
Didn't the Citadel lose, or did they win? I'm asking. So that's your 2 losses.
Yes.
You should have 3 losses. How do you have 2 losses and I have 1?
No, no, that was my second loss. No, who was the first loss?
Idaho State.
I forget our joint loss.
We have the same loss. That's what I'm saying. Your record, you should be 2 losses behind because you picked the Citadel and Iowa State. You tried to cheat me just now. You fucking cheater. Something ain't right.
I gotta look back at it.
Yeah, there's no way you chose the Citadel and Idaho State. And
first off, how about Citadel has Clemson this week too? Poor Citadel. They're still trying to play, and I don't even think they have I have to look up their schedule. They just get beat every week.
You know, it's funny. Austin Peay got their ass whooped by Pitt. Woo!
They're about to get their ass whooped again this week, and we'll talk about that when we get to our pick'ems. But poor Austin Peay must have honestly signed up to every top 25 team because they have another top 25 team now, and they're in the top 15. That's going to be pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Now I got to see if I can pull this up.
Yeah, because you lied. That's what made me think. I was like, 2 losses. You chose the Citadel. Like, I know that's for sure. Who lost that we were surprised about? No, Florida State. No, because we picked Georgia Tech.
No, we definitely picked Georgia Tech. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up without losing something else. Hold on. Hold, please. But while
we're at this moment, real quick, let's talk about what's on sale. It's getting real cold outside, everybody. So please go to bombshellbowling.com/loudmouth sports talk. We got hoodies for sale. $40 for sizes small through 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X is going to be $45. You missed out on an opportunity to have $5 off because we had an NFL kickoff weekend. And also get your Loudmouth Sports Talk t-shirts.
Oh, that's okay. So I do have 3 losses.
No shit.
It was Kansas that lost that we thought was going to win. Kansas lost to somebody that they should have beat.
Yeah, so you have 3 losses.
So I have 3 losses. You have 2.
I have 1. I chose Kansas. You can hate me all you want. Yeah. It's okay.
That's the only game. Well, again, I'm not going to talk about the other record that you suck at because we'll have to wait till Sunday to talk about that.
We ain't gonna discuss the NFL predictions. Just know I probably won't pick the Cleveland Browns for the rest of the year. Or the Atlanta Falcons, because what the fuck is wrong with them?
So you're 19-1, and I am 17-3.
Sounds right. So I'm in first place. I'm the selection guru.
Yeah, in college, not so much in pro.
Okay, I'm the college selection guru.
College selection guru.
Selection guesser for NFL.
Yeah.
But
Hey, so I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back too far in the NFL, but a report just came across that the Browns are actually actively shopping Odell. So it's not like a rumor anymore. It's like pretty legit that they're trying to move him. Um, I generally don't think that Odell is the issue. I mean, it's the fucking Browns for God's sakes. Um, but I think moving from him, I'll hesitantly say might be able to clear up some things, especially. Hopefully, they actually decide to run the fucking ball.
Run the damn ball.
But hey, that's also what Indy did not. Well, Indy still didn't do it, even though they're actually their third string running back had a pretty decent game, for that matter. But I would have definitely thought they were going to do a lot better than what they did. But that's besides the point. But overall, again, circling back through college, I had a lot of fun watching. It being generally their first week, it was technically the second week, but it was like the first full slate of games. It felt like week one of college football. There was a shit ton of blowouts. Not very many. There were some decent games, but not because it was like Bama versus a Florida. But it was a pretty decent week for college football. You had a couple good guesses, but
that was expected because I had a couple what?
Couple good guesses.
Refer to me as the selection guru. That's all you can refer to me as. Anything short of that, you're selling myself. 19-1. That's all you gotta say. And then 7-9 in NFL. You didn't hear. All right, so we gonna stay. You like that? But overall, I'm like 27-10 with both picks.
Sure.
What are you in? Sure.
I love how you're trying to like make it seem better. You combine mine. I am 28-8.
And 27-10.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So pretty close.
Yeah.
But so this week we're just gonna do top 25. I guess just a quick overview. We'll kind of look at it as schedules. We won't pick some of what we're gonna try to do as best as we can the remainder of the season. Now that we have like the full slate of games, we're only gonna do the top 25. For me and Courtney, it'd be just crazy trying to go over the full roster, especially since right now we're still looking at having certain teams having postponed games and trying to go back to them. But some notable postponed games this week. Houston and Memphis had to postpone their matchup. Memphis right now is dealing with a couple players. I guess actually a handful of players in quarantine right now for COVID. I think for college, unfortunately, we're going to deal with this a lot. I shouldn't say a lot, but on a weekly basis, we're going to see a couple games thrown off here and there. But I guess Houston was able to reschedule, and they're playing Baylor this week. Virginia Tech rivalry game was postponed. I think they're trying to make up that game. BYU Army was also postponed because of BYU, I guess, with some of their players, and then just the idea of if Army would obviously catch COVID, how quickly it could spread, and obviously the detrimental idea that could be within the academy. Because again, a lot of the people that are on that base essentially are obviously still pretty key components.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're officers.
Not yet.
Well, maybe some of the people that are actually on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I meant. So just so we can look at it real quick. So these are like kind of the full slate of games. Like I said, me and Court are going to go only over.
Hey,
The
your
top
Pornhub is up.
You're shut up. You know what's funny though? You joking about that before whenever me and you were talking about me sharing my screen, I had to make sure that nothing bad was in the top browser thing.
Bro, so listen, one of the
Not that I
funniest
would have
moments.
Pornhub saved in my top browser, but I was like, is there anything else that could get me in trouble?
So
And I'm
listen,
nah, we're good. I got StreamYard, I got Idiot Radio, which hopefully will work something out with Todd down the road. Again, we're so fucking busy. I can't fucking keep my head on straight.
but listen, so here's a funny story. So you know how Apple had to update it because you know how before when you got in the car, if you was on a browser, it would keep it going. So listen, and it would show what you're watching. So I was with my Marine Corps recruiter, and I hope to God he's watching it. But listen, I don't think I've ever said this to anybody, but a couple Marines. But I get in the car, and he had a DOD van, right? He plugs his phone up, and he turned that shit down fast, super fast. But he didn't know the screen said "big booty white sucking fucking sucking dick." And so one of the kids goes, "What the fuck are you watching?" And he goes, "What you mean?" He shut that shit off. Turned it off so fast, bro. I swear to goodness, it was one of the funniest moments I've ever dealt with in my life.
That's
it was funny. It was funny.
Oh look, the Pirates are losing. Shock face.
Shock face. All right, let's go with these top picks.
I'd be surprised, but I'm really not. All right, so for the top 25 this week, so the first slate of games, starting off at noon, we got Syracuse versus Pitt. So Syracuse is coming off of a rough loss against UNC. UNC started off really slow, and then it was almost like that, reawakening of the bear.
But that UNC defense, man, whoo!
Correct.
That kid thought.
Well, that's the other thing that's fun too, is Pitt's defense looked really good against Austin. Now,
shout
granted,
out to my boy Diddy Bop, Paris Ford, man. Shout out to that guy, DeMar Hamlin, man. Shout out to y'all boys, man. Hold it down for Pitt. Hold it down.
But to be fair, Austin P is 0 right now after 2 matchups.
They scored the first college football touchdown of COVID 2020.
Yeah, against Central Arkansas, but
it was the 80-yard pitch play.
Yeah, run, and that was the closest they got to any win. So apparently Pitt is a 22-point favorite in this game. Yes. I feel like it might be a little bit of an overhype because of the Austin P game. But I am still going to have to go with Pitt What says you?
I don't think it's an understatement. I think Pitt's defense is going to be so hard to deal with. And I think on the offensive end, if they can just run the ball even halfway decent. And now it's like you're finally starting to see that Norduzzi team start to come together. And now it's his guys.
We finally got enough time to fucking recruit people.
That's what I mean. It usually takes about 3-4 years for your team to really start showing up. And Pitt has done a great job of keeping them together. But honestly, what it is, man, those captains on defense. Like I said it a little bit, but like Paris Ford is one of like Diddy is one of the best people to be around. Like that dude is just electric. Like he brings electricity.
I really wish that so they lost one of their DNs because I think he had a quarantine for COVID.
Yeah.
And then another one of their DNs had decided to opt out because of COVID. I really wish those dudes were there for Austin Peay. I think it would have been even worse.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name, but
I can see him playing safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Edmonds about to get bounced because what the fuck is the point of having him?
Out of all 11 players, Edmonds needs shipped off the fucking island.
Yep.
That's besides the point. So we both got Pitt on that one.
Pitt.
So BYU and Army was supposed to be a ranked game, 21 and 22 respectfully. Pitt is 25 going back. Virginia Tech is obviously postponed, like I said. Virginia Tech right now is sitting at 20.
If I'm the Army, I wouldn't want no smoke with BYU. They just killed
after what they did
just killed
Navy.
They just killed 80 midshipmen. I wouldn't want them to come for the Army because woo.
Hey, did you see Navy's head coach? I forget the guy's name. Is in some deep water because he said something to some high-ranking official saying that it was horseshit that Air Force gets to compete for the Commander's Cup, even though they only play like 2 games this year. And I guess the guy was like, you need to stand down, big boy.
So here's what's funny. So like, I'm going to tell you exactly now. Any military officer who works with a civilian, I swear to God, they do not like him.
No, I mean, if I was in the military, I wouldn't like any civilian either.
And then if you try to challenge, especially somebody like, because you got to think about it, at the Naval Academy, there are probably at least generals like there. You know, like you probably got a colonel who's an 05 or like a general who's an 06. Like those dudes are probably leading the way. So like imagine the bitch ass head coach who like, bro, your job will be gone like that. Like he could just say, fuck you, you won't have a season and shut that shit down. All he got to do is call like SecNav and be like, yo, shut this shit down. Like I don't think people understand that's how it works. Like the military, that head coach, he won't be there next. Like if he did that, and he got a high officer up on it, man. That dude ain't gonna be there for long.
So we forgot to talk about that last week after BYU smoked Navy. BYU and Navy are the first 2 teams to have Islanders as the head coaches. They're the first Islander head coaches in college.
Well, one was on top of the island. The other one was at the very bottom. Because man, he was getting pummeled. Like,
but so continuing through our pick'ems. Listen, I just laugh when Army might have escaped with not having to play because BYU looked nice.
They just look, and those away uniforms are so underrated. That
the whites, especially the chrome blue.
Look good, play good, whoop some shipman's ass. That's their mentality.
But so another 12 o'clock ranked game. It's going to be Oklahoma State versus Tulsa.
That's like racist as hell versus less racist. Battle of the racists.
You're a mess. OK State, again, is also 22.5-point favorites. I'm assuming you're going with OK State.
I refuse to answer this one. I do not want to talk about Mike Gundy or whatever the fuck his bitch ass name is. But I'm going to take that team, but I don't like that guy.
You're not going to root for Chris Hubbard?
No, fuck him too.
Why? He's the running back that called out.
I know who he is. He's the puppet.
Uh,
If I'm gonna say a stance like that, man, you ain't get me on no damn camera looking like a hostage. Fuck you. I don't need to play there. I can enter the transfer portal and get my. And that's the thing. Don't he not know he can have a voice and not play there?
no, because he's a senior.
So
He'd
you
have.
can opt
He'd have
out
he,
not because of COVID,
knowing the NCAA, they'd make him sit out for a year.
but because of COVID, you don't have to play.
Oh, I mean, he
And
doesn't
you
have
get
to
your,
play, but he won't make it to the NFL otherwise.
but that's what I'm saying. Is like whatever. I'll take Oklahoma State.
So speaking of people getting fucking shellacked, poor Austin P once again has to play a ranked team, and it being Cincinnati, which is supposed to be a powerhouse this year.
Shout out to my boy Noah Hanlon, man. Go Tigers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Bearcats.
he went there.
Shout out to my man Noah. Hold it down. Noah be in the sports group. You don't even know it. Noah always shares her shit.
I forgot he was with Cincinnati. But Cincinnati's 33.5-point favorites
I like
over
the over.
Austin P.
They about to whoop.
So
Austin
I feel
Peay
like
ass.
that's an easy choice for us.
Yes.
Poor Austin P. Was it Austin P or another? No, it was Austin P. Talking. Somebody was talking about a team that gave up 112 points in the first two games of college football, and
Probably
I want to say
Austin P.
it was probably Austin P. Them poor fucking bastards. So on to Courtney's let's make a guess teams. Louisiana is ranked 19th in the college poll right now. And they played Georgia State. Louisiana is a 17-point favorite. What says ye, Captain Hoodie?
Hoodie up, bold prediction. Georgia State gonna win.
You're nuts.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Oh, I was going to say.
Louisiana, let's go, baby. I can't even tell you their team name.
They're the
Let's
Raging
go.
Cajuns.
Let's go. Raging Caucasians.
Oh, my
Let's
God.
go.
Hold on. Speaking of
Speaking of what? Did you say speaking of cock?
no, Caucasian. No, have you seen the shirt? He was the ESPN analyst that was making fun of the Redskins and saying, "Oh, we should make a team called the Caucasians," and it was like a cheap Wahoo, but it was white. He had blonde hair, blue eyes. Instead of a feather, he had a dollar sign, and I forget what else. And it said the Washington Caucasians. Man, I need to find that T-shirt. I want it. That shit was the funniest shit alive.
Somebody gonna call you racist
For being yeah.
I couldn't imagine the Washington black people with a black face.
Hey, how about Dan Snyder said that they might keep the name the Washington football team, which I think is hysterical.
Dan Snyder, the only motherfucker I know who's guilty as hell and then hire somebody to investigate himself and say, we expect him to do a good job. Really? Move on. Fuck the Washington. I love Ronald Rivera, man. Shout out to my guy.
But so
are we not going to talk about how me and you might be wrong? Well, no. I said Chase Young, the only potential he would have is because of the people he's next to. And that defensive line, whew.
I didn't get to watch the game. Apparently, they sacked Kirk Cousins behind a
Carson Wentz.
Him too. They might as well be sacking Carson Palmer for that point. But that offensive line has like one starter. Everybody else is out.
And then Lane Johnson, I wanted to remember I put in the group like, oh, I think I'm changing my pick because Lane Johnson got scratched right before the game.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah, no
difference.
shit. It wasn't the idea that you could pick on only one tackle. You could pick on both of them.
Because Jason Peters, he played, but I mean, he's old as hell.
Yeah, Jason Peters is old as fuck.
He got his ass whooped, and that's a grown man.
Um,
Aaron
so,
Donald play. Ooh, when he threw Zeke.
oh, dude. First off, I'm also going to jail if one man just picks me up and throws me at my quarterback.
And listen, I'm going to jail if I'm the guy that Trent Williams hit. Because ain't no way in hell you going to hit me like that. I'm going to
First
shoot
off,
you.
Aaron Donald was an absolute wrecking crew. He threw somebody, I think it was the center, he threw at the left guard and then went over and slapped the shit out of Dak. And then the next play, swam the left guard and then threw Zeke at Dak. If I'm Dak, I'm firing everybody.
Oh,
I'm
that's
telling
Zach
you all to
Martin.
fuck off. I'm taking your Christmas gift. I'm taking the gift from last year. I'm telling you to go fuck off.
Didn't Zeke buy his whole team? The
Yeah,
whole
scooters. I'm taking
not
all the
scooters. Those are squads, weren't
I'm repoing them. Fuck you guys. I'm stopped paying on them.
they?
But so speaking of another molly whopping, Notre Dame that is number 7 in the rankings right now, which
Hey,
I think they're ranked a little too high. They
let me tell you this. Let me say this. Oh well, go ahead. Who are they playing?
USF. So they're also Notre Dame has 20 point favorite in that game.
Notre Dame is going to get their ass whooped by Duke. I can't wait. I mean, not Duke. North Carolina and Clemson and Pitt.
Duke gave them a game for like 3 quarters.
Notre Dame is mediocre. They should not be number 7. They're not the 7th best football team. I would take Michigan, who ain't even fucking playing, before I choose Notre Dame.
Well, we'll go over the top 25, but at least now, the top 25 is only out of the 3 conferences.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put Notre Dame above Pitt. I wouldn't put them above North Carolina. I wouldn't put them above probably the. I know.
And I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
But so our next ranked game, it's a 3:30 start. That Notre Dame game is a 2:30 start. But this 3:30 start is North Carolina versus Charlotte. Pittsburgh has a Charlotte alum with Highsmith on their defense, but North Carolina versus poor Charlotte, they are a 30-point favorite. What says you? What are you doing? No, I cannot hear you. You broke it. But while we're waiting for Courtney to fix his technical failure, I'm obviously going to go with UNC. Even though they had a kind of a slow start with the Qs.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
All right. So North Carolina's about to whoop that ass.
Yeah, I was in the process of saying that while I was waiting for you to come back. Even though UNC kind of had a slow start against Syracuse, they definitely came on strong. I think it was like the second half. It was definitely a sleeping bear that decided to wake up. Just like we talked about last week, I think North Carolina Clemson down the road is going to be an amazing game to be able to watch. That might be one of those games that I DVR and then watch later in the day, or later in the weekend, just because I'll probably be at work. But man, is that going to be a fun game to watch. Continuing through our slate of games out of the top 25, another 3:30 start, and this actually might be a better game to watch. So we have UCF the Golden Knights versus Georgia Tech, which just came off of a heartbreaker. Or actually, they won that game against Florida State, but that was a just drag out beatdown. And unfortunately for Florida State, that at least in my opinion, they might be able to pick it up. But they really found out that their starting quarterback is probably not the man. But UCF is supposed to be a 7.5-point favorite. What says you?
I'll take whoever you take.
You take whoever I take? That's not fun. I'm giving Georgia Tech the upset.
Against UCF?
Yeah.
Where's it at?
I believe it's at Georgia Tech.
I'll take the home team.
Hold
No,
on. Yeah, at Georgia Tech. So you both me and you both take Georgia Tech for the upset?
I like that Georgia Tech team, man. They're young. I mean, but that's the only scary thing is with a young team like those guys. Because Florida State, I mean, like Georgia Tech gave Florida State every way to win. I mean, 3 block kicks, a missed kick, and Florida State still lost. It's like,
first off, Georgia Tech has Eddie Lacy went back to college and is now punting for Georgia Tech. Did you see their punter?
Yeah, he's a big motherfucker. Speaking of punters, can we give some credit? We need to start looking at special team plays of the week because Brett Kern from fucking Tennessee yesterday dropped a bomb. He dropped a 65-yard bomb. Like that punt that he put, man.
But yeah, are we going to start doing a Pat McAfee for the brand?
Yes. But let's do it with the offensive lineman.
Yo, I'm down.
But so I'm gonna go with UCF. I like UCF. I think I'm Georgia Tech. It wouldn't surprise me if they win, but I think they're still young. It's gonna take them a little bit for them to get it together.
Hold on. Of course, Pat McAfee talked about this kid on his show and tagged him with this brand. But damn it, I hope this picture pulls up. This shit is too funny. This dude is a big boy. What was funny is I saw him come off the field. He got like the Michael Bennett shoulder pads that are non-existent. My man has short shorts on, no socks.
Bro, he don't even look. If that's the jerseys they wore, that shit looks trash. Those jerseys with that helmet and those pants, just as a horrible. It was supposed to
be a white jersey, but it's so short he had to wear an undershirt.
Really?
Yeah. Their uniforms, they're not great. I honestly like their uniforms better when they were with Russell Athletic.
That sounds so bad. Like you would take a Russell Athletic uniform over.
I'm just not a fan of Adidas's uniforms for them. I actually kind of like the look better with our jerseys in the background.
Yeah.
Except for we need to switch it up. You need to be over here.
Why?
Because by your name.
By your name.
Shut up. But Adidas's uniforms for them isn't that great.
They need to bring out the honeycomb.
I was just going to say the honeycomb helmet was fire for Georgia. I love those helmets. But so you're going to take UCF. I got Georgia Tech. I still think Georgia Tech cleans it up, and it's UCF's first game, so they might have some stumbles. Continuing through our 3:00 slate of games, especially for the top 25, we have App State versus Marshall. App State is only a 4.5-point favorite. Both teams had great showings the first week. App State is actually the team that is ranked. Marshall didn't get that nod into the top 25 yet. What says you?
So I'm gonna make this fully based on love I have for people. Shout out to my boy TJ Wiley and his son Maximus. I'm going with Marshall, baby. Let's go.
What does that have to do with anything with them?
Because remember last week on the show, TJ was like, Max
Oh,
watched Marshall, Max watched Marshall, and they pounded on somebody. And nah, I'm just kidding. App State's gonna win. This isn't even gonna be only 4 points. They might put up 40 on them.
Yeah, I mean, Marshall's first showing was against. I don't think anybody good. I forget who they played week
It was
one.
nobody good.
Yeah.
Is
it
it?
was Eastern Kentucky that they won 59-0. I still think that they have a really good showing. I think this might be one of the best games for Saturday, outside of maybe the UCF Georgia Tech game, which unfortunately they're at the same time. But I just like App State. App State is just holding it down for the group of five. And like I said before, I really honestly down the road would like to see them squeak into the Power Five just to see where they were, especially from where they came from.
Well, they could join in the Big 12. They could play in the Big 12. They could play in the ACC. Maybe.
I could get into the ACC down the road.
Where's the Appalachian State at?
I think it's North Carolina. I'm almost 100% sure for
ACC.
Yeah, I mean that would be a perfect fit for them. But I mean that would be a absolutely great game to watch if you're looking for obviously good games to watch this weekend. I think that's going to be a very good game. I don't really need to question this next one. It's going to be Clemson versus the Citadel. I'll be absolutely surprised if Trevor Lawrence even plays till halftime in this game. I generally thought the Citadel was going to give UCF at least some kind of a question mark.
They did.
That did not turn out to be the case.
No, they gave them a question mark. They was like, UCF, what else can we do to fuck them up? How basic can we go and still score? Like,
bro, did you see the fucking punt, the shortest punt in NCAA history?
Oh, yeah. Was that
Citadel's dude shanked it, and the punter literally caught one of the defensive linemen literally caught it in the end zone. It was the worst thing ever.
I seen that.
Also, I always kind of doubling back. I'm always going to root for App State unless it's against like an actual Power 5 team, because of my boy Nate Dorton. He owns Phenom Elite and has the best clothing line in the nation.
What they're going to do with App State?
He went to App State. He played there.
Shout out to you, Nate. Hey, hook us up. Let's get him on the show.
Hey, we actually should just let him shout out the brand.
Yes, sir.
To finalize Saturday night through the top 25, this is also going to be an amazing game, I believe. So you got Miami versus Louisville. So it's going to be an ACC matchup. It's also a matchup versus 17 and 18 in the top 25. This is actually going to be a hard pick. Louisville's given 2.5 points. So less than a field goal. I'm going to let you pick, and I'm seriously picking the opposite team
Why?
just to mess with you.
I'm going with Miami.
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 So I am going to go with Louisville.
No.
But that basically rounds out our games for the top 25 and the NCAA. At least this week, I don't have any spotlight games outside of the top 25, at least this week.
Isn't Texas playing this week or no?
I think they're off. Big 12's off this week.
Mm.
So that's actually a smooth transition into our overall look at the top 25. So once again, let me share my screen real quick. So the top 25 right now kind of rounds out pretty even between the AP and the coaches pool. To be fair, I could give a flying fuck about the coaches pool because only the AP until they start announcing the playoff bowl or playoff rankings does it actually matter for anything. So Clemson's number 1, Bama 2, even though they haven't played. Huh?
Go ahead.
Again, this is the first actual real pool of people that are actually playing. Last week they had like Ohio State, Oregon, teams that aren't playing, which I don't know how much we talked about that Big 12 thing, but that's besides the point. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you after I talked about this. So Clemson 1, Bama 2, Oklahoma 3, even though Oklahoma played the children of the poor. Georgia, Florida, LSU. So basically the top 5 is all SEC except for 2 other schools. Notre Dame, Auburn, Texas A&M, Okie State, North Carolina, Cincy, UCF, Tennessee, Memphis, Miami, Louisville, Louisiana Tech, BYU, Army, App State, Kentucky, and Pitt. I don't know why they don't have 24 next to Kentucky, but whatever. And then honorable mentions basically are Baylor, West Virginia, Georgia Tech, TCU in Virginia. I'm not going to go through all of them. Is there anybody anybody not in the top 25 that you think should be in the top 25 or outside of Notre Dame that we kind of already talked about, do you think needs to be kind of shuffled around?
So Notre Dame shouldn't even be on the fucking. They should be down. Alabama shouldn't be on there because they didn't play yet.
Well, SEC schools haven't played at all yet. So.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So nobody who hasn't played yet should be on the top 25 because they haven't played yet. Yeah. And then if you caught an L, you shouldn't be on the top 25. If you struggle, you shouldn't be on the top 25. I think North Carolina should be higher than Notre Dame for sure. Like if you switch North Carolina and Notre Dame, I might nope because Notre Dame Pitt. I guess I just hate Notre Dame. That's what this is coming down to. I just do not like Notre Dame. BYU looks strong against the good Navy football team normally, so they should get the respect. But yeah, I'm okay with that. I get it. The top 25, Bama's going to be a top 5 team. Whatever, cool. But
so speaking of which, so here's my biggest question. So again, we kind of talked about it. So the chancellors or the presidents or whoever the jerk offs are for the Big Ten still need to vote again for the 17th time if they're going to have a season in the fall. And I guess they met again with their health advisors, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of tired of hearing about the Big Ten. But do you feel like if they decide to start either the beginning of October or even mid-October that they deserve to be a part of the overall top 25 rankings?
Nope. And here's my thing. Here's the reason why. Instead of coming out and say we made a mistake, we can continue to play football. They have not done that, and they're making it all about themselves while other people are actually playing football and moving on with their lives. Stop being a bitch, stop being a pussy, and move on. I don't care about the Big Ten. I was happy that the Big Ten wasn't playing because I could finally be a happy Michigan fan and know that we're not going to lose to Ohio State. So it's like for me, I don't care.
Well,
Like
your wishes might come true because from the rumors that I saw, Michigan and Michigan State, regardless of the outcome, decide to or are planning on not to play this year.
yeah, because it's just a matter of like, there's no point. You're starting. What are you playing for? You're not gonna. You're gonna play for a Big Ten championship? Fuck that. You're gonna play for what? Nothing. Like there's no point. If you didn't choose to start up when everybody else did, and you couldn't make the decision, don't try to make this decision
That's how
now.
I feel for the
Because
Pac-12.
it's a political thing. Because the president was like, "Oh, the Big Ten needs to play sports." Fuck that. No. If you if you wanted to play sports, y'all should have played sports. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about the Big Ten. And to their credit, to their chancellor's credit, they already said there's not enough evidence. We don't want to do it. Keep that energy. Let it go.
Right.
And I get it. If you guys like Justin Fields and it's cute and it feels good, bro, you're gonna play in the NFL. Like you'll be okay. I just feel like the Big 12, the SEC, the ACC, they deserve to be a part of the top 25. They deserve to have a champion. A champion will be crowned, and yeah, we'll be like, oh, well, Ohio State and them wasn't in there. That's not nobody else's fault but the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean that's my same energy with the Pac-12. As much as I'm a huge Oregon fan, and I was super excited to watch that defense this year, I honestly could give a flying fuck if they decide to come back.
Yeah, because here's the thing:
how many people keep that same fucking energy and just wait until next fall?
Right, and like how many people are going to opt out by the time that's going to come up? It's going to be like, oh yeah, well, is it really Ohio State or is it really?
Well, that's the other thing. Like top Oregon, and again, I'm just looking at it from an Oregon standpoint for the Pac-12. Like 3 big Oregon names have already declared for the draft. Like they said, we don't give a flying fuck if you don't play till 2021 spring. I'm going to the NFL. Like,
right.
We're beyond the point now. You didn't start in September like everybody else. Nobody gives a fuck. It would honestly, as a college fan, ruin this season if the Big Ten came back and they were like, fuck it. We're just going to rank them and let them do what they want to do. Because it's just going to dilute and also make the championship of anything not seem nearly as relevant. You allow the Big Ten to fight for the national championship, it loses any kind of credibility for this year for it not to have a asterisk to it.
Yeah, I just don't care about the Big Ten anymore. Like,
yeah,
I rather just.
I want to watch the teams that decide to play.
Yeah, because it's like then all the attention is going to be if they don't get voted in, if they don't get voted into the playoff. Well, oh, why didn't we deserve it? Because you didn't fucking start when everybody else started.
Yeah.
Move on.
You let 3 little nerds tell you that it didn't seem like it's a good time to play yet.
Mm-hmm.
But so college pick'ems are in. Obviously, like I said, I am absolutely just ecstatic that football is back. Just because me and you can talk about actual things and not hypotheticals. But just the idea of watching football. Again, as much as I love the UFC, as much as I love watching the NHL, which I'm watching right now between the Islanders and Tampa, basketball and baseball I could really give a flying fuck about. As much as I loved watching a couple of the lacrosse leagues play this year, there's just a different energy with football, with or without fans. And like a lot of people also chimed in and talked and said that they feel the same way. Not having fans and having the ability to hear the quarterback checks and the line checks and stuff like that, I honestly like better. I'm not going to lie. For a person that could give a flying fuck about going to an actual football game, um, being able to sit at home and listen to Pouncey make line checks was just fun to listen to.
Right.
That's also the football nerd in me. And
I just don't like. I just Lewis that Monday Night Crew. Why can't
they can go kick rocks.
Why can't they like Levy's not a problem. It's just Greasy.
Luke
Nobody
Riddick
wants to
is
hear.
so dry.
Yeah, and so is Brian Greasy. Like
he's a good analyst for like insider stuff, but as a like color commentator, nah, you're not for me, bud.
Did you just say he's a colored commentator? You're racist. Wow. You're about to get kicked off the air.
Fuck off.
He's a horrible colored comment. Wow.
I didn't call him a colored commentator. Shut up.
What did you say? Wait, hold up. Wait. Did you Bro, I swear you just said he's a horrible colored commentator.
No, that's the position. He's a color commentator, not a colored commentator. You fuck. No, that's the position. It's a colored commentator, not a colored commentator. Jesus Christ. You're trying to get us kicked off of every fucking social media.
Well, I thought that's what you said. I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll with it. Like, because I was about to defend you. Like, George did not mean it in that way. Like,
Jesus Christ. Oh, you're a whole lot of mess. We're getting slappy at this point now.
Oh man, I was like, damn, George is kind of ruthless today.
Jesus, George, I cannot.
Yeah, I was about to like hit you up offline, like, bro.
Hey, don't do that again.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, bro, did you just call
no,
him a colored commentator? No.
Hey, so if OBJ gets traded to a different team, is he gonna have to get used to like the shitting quality of that team, that city?
I think, but let's talk about so real quick before we go. I think a team that Odell will land in. I honestly, I had it. Oh, the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears.
Yes, Allen Robinson's looking for his trade.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of signings, Sanu ended up with the 49ers.
Yeah, I seen that. Nobody cares about Sanu.
Not really. But I mean, even though that would be the very Browns thing to do, I'll be surprised if they actually get a deal for AB or Odell. But
who else? See, that's the thing. So, like, who could use him? So,
Houston.
The Baltimore Ravens, Houston, but they wouldn't trade to the Ravens because it's a division rival.
No, that's why I think Houston would be a better pick. Even though I don't feel like he would fit that culture in that team, but
I think he does, man. I'm not writing him off as a cancer.
He's
competitive.
I
don't think. I don't. Yeah, I know, but I don't think so because he wants to compete. Like, I'm okay. Like, is it drama? Yeah,
I'm
but like
with the competition part. It's the imploding and becoming a distraction.
Yeah, which I get a distraction. Yeah, but I mean, different teams, different fits. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna write him.
I mean, he hasn't. I'll put it this way: he hasn't been a cancer for the Browns, but I mean, he's also slightly attributed to the Browns being the Browns. So I mean, but that's not hard to do either. But that's besides the point. But any other hot takes that you have before our
No, sir.
selection show on Sunday?
No, sir.
So, as usual, make sure you go to bombshellbowling.com/loudmouth sports talk. Unfortunately, you missed our kickoff weekend code, but you can still get your loudmouth hoodies. I don't know about you, but it was kind of cool as shit this morning. I wasn't expecting that shit. But I got the ability to throw on my loudmouth hoodie this morning, and it was nice and cozy. And just like our wonderful hoodies, our t-shirts are also amazingly comfortable. I have 2 that are cutoffs and 2 that are actual t-shirts, so I don't look like an absolute heathen whenever I go out and rep the brand. And for the rest of the week, thankfully you guys have a day off of our loudness. But then Thursday we start off the loudmouth loud lineup with Robbie with Ahead of the Curve, Rob with Mucking and Grinding on Friday, hopefully to give us his thoughts on this game tonight with Tampa and New York, but then also to give us a preview kind of on his Stanley Cup opinions. And then both me and Courtney's favorite show outside of our own. And it's like kids. You love all your kids, but I do enjoy watching Off the Top Rope on Saturday afternoons.
Man, what are they called? The bros that run this show. King of Less, bro. My fiance, every time I say, "Oh, the wrestling show," she's like, "You mean the bros that run the show?" Because they had the sunglasses on, and she was laughing so fucking hard. Like she was like, "What are they doing?" Like she's like,
I swear they've converted some people to be either they were wrestling fans and kind of got away from it, and they brought them back. Or people that have never really gave a fuck about wrestling, like they've drawn them in, and it's kind of awesome.
Yep.
But outside of that, obviously Sunday you get to see our ugly mugs again for our selection show. We're going to kind of review our NFL pick'ems. Obviously, Courtney's down in the basement fighting.
No, I'm not. Sean's in the basement.
Raps.
I'm on the second steps of the basement.
But hey, like we always say, run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball. It should be that simple.
I still think fucking Indy could have done that a little bit more still. But hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. The guessing guru's gonna go figure out his picks for Sunday. And we'll see you guys
guru
later Sunday and the rest of the week.
When did you change our name to Guessing Guru?
A long time ago. You missed it.
Run the damn ball.